Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Singing Hub, and welcome to Tongue Tension Day. This is a very exciting day and a very important thing in the world of singing. So today we're going to do tongue tension. I'm going to have a discussion about what tongue tension is, give you a little definition. We'll talk about the ideal position for the tongue, and then I'm going to give you a couple of exercises to get you started. There are a ton of tongue tension exercises that work for people that are out there. These are just a couple that I found work for me and my students, so feel free to add and subtract as needed. So the first thing I want to explain is what is tongue tension and why is it important? If we go all the way back to whenever you were very, very small, like whenever you were a kid and you were learning how to speak, so we're talking about like toddler age. You learn to speak by tensing and releasing your tongue. Now that's important, and everybody goes through that, and every language has different levels of tension in the tongue. So you will either tense your tongue more or less depending on what language you speak, what dialect you speak, how your parents spoke to you, what their dialects were, and so that's a big piece of tongue tension. When you tense and release the tongue is a very big organ. It is an organ, and it sits and fills this entire space. So your tongue actually starts all the way down here where your larynx is. And if your tongue is tense at the base, it will sit on top of your vocal cords. The image that my teacher uses is it's like a hippopotamus sitting on two tap dancers. They can't go anywhere and they can't do anything. So that's really what tongue tension is. Now, the reason why I say this is because that is why we want our tongue out of our throat. If I ever say, get your tongue out of your throat, or if I ever say your tongue needs to be higher, this is why. The ideal position for the tongue in the school of voice that I teach, which is bel canto, this does vary depending on what you study, by the way. So if you are studying with somebody who is a very Italian-based teacher, like traditional Italian-based bel canto, they're going to agree with me on this. Some other teachers may have other viewpoints on tongue position. I'm just going to give you mine, and then you go do your research on your own to see what works for you. So, we believe in a high tongue position, which is basically that the tongue, if my hand is your tongue, it's in a wave, okay? And the tip of your tongue is behind your front bottom teeth, so like this. Now, if you say the vowel E, your tongue automatically goes there. The reason we like this position in the world of bel canto singing, and in my argument, it should kind of carry across all styles. Again, that's the school I come from. So the reason why we love this vowel is because it gets the tongue off of your vocal cords down here. It pulls it up out of the throat into that wave position. So that's the ideal position. So there's a couple different ways that you can train your tongue to be in this position, and I'm going to give you one that has worked really, really well for me that I've gotten from two of my past voice teachers, and it is the pencil exercise. I would suggest getting a pencil that is unsharpened and that you somehow mark that is your tongue pencil in some way, like I know it's my purple pencil, or even if you're teaching, I would carry a set of pencils with you. I need to do this myself whenever we get back to like real life and it's not the COVID-19 pandemic, where you have just like a pack of number 2 Ticonderoga typical pencils. And then what you're going to do with this pencil, also make sure that the pencil is clean, by the way, because of what we're going to do with it next. So you're going to put it under your tongue. As you can see, it puts your tongue in that ideal position. Now, as I tell my students, you can do this with vocalese, but let's say you have a lot of tongue tension problems. This is a great thing to do when you're watching TV, This is a great thing to do whenever you're just like trying to, help yourself with tongue tension any time of day or night. So you're going to put the tongue in, or the pencil under your tongue. And you can do that any part of the range. If you are a tenor, baritone, or bass, I would take that down an octave. So you would be down here. Just a disclaimer. I tend to sing in my own range in these videos. So this is a great one to do. Go up and down. I wouldn't go super, super high, and I wouldn't go painfully low. Like, don't go all the way to the basement, and don't go all the way to the rafters. Unless you're with a voice teacher and they really want you to do that, I wouldn't do that. I would just keep this to a middle voice exercise. Now, how we translate this to actually singing, because you're like, Candace, this is great. I can stick a pencil in my mouth, but I can't sing with a pencil in my mouth all the time. I agree. That would be very, very strange. So what you're going to do is put the pencil in your mouth. See what I did? So pencil, what some people know of as the NG or the ng consonant, if you are an IPA person, and then switch to an E vowel. You will see at the E vowel that there's a little depression where your tongue meets the roof of your mouth. That is normal and supposed to happen. This is ideal. Your tongue should not be glued to the roof of your mouth all the time, but you should have the sides of your tongue as close to your back molars as humanly possible. So that's just something to note, because a lot of people get really extreme, and I know I'm a pendulum swinger. I talk to my students about this all the time, where I take it to an extreme. If you're a person who takes like instructions to an extreme, now you're gonna know that there is a slight nuance there. So let's do a couple more of these. If you are a tenor, baritone, or bass, do this an octave lower. Last one. So that's the full range of what you would do. Sorry, my air conditioning is making my nose run a little bit. So that's what you would do to transfer yourself from, I'm training my tongue is high, I understand where the resonance is happening in my face, and then I'm moving to a vowel. So that's the full range of that. Candace, I don't have a pencil. Or Candace, I'm in the car warming up on my way to a gig. I get it. So here's another one. Say digga, 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 dee. Dig-a, 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 dee. Now you're going to make that fast. Digga, 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 dee. Digga, 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 dee. Digga, 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 dee. Digga, 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 dee. Digga, 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 dee. Digga, 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 dee. You can do that one up and down through range. Doesn't work so great super, super high. We're going to get to exercises about that later. Again, this is just to help your tongue tension. Always start in the middle voice, unless you are told otherwise by a voice teacher. Another one that's really easy is just to stick your tongue out and sing a scale. Ah, ah, ah. Can also do that. That works just fine. Last one that I'm going to give you is eval, but I'm going to take my thumb. Now, here's my disclaimer. Do not do this if you have a really, really strong gag reflex, because this can cause you to get really gaggy. If you have if you gag on a dime, this is probably not a great one for you. If you're a person that has a pretty weak gag reflex like I do, this one's great. So you're going to take your thumbnail, stick it right under your chin right here, because this is actually the base of your tongue. You're going to feel it. If you push your tongue down, you'll feel a depression there, and it'll push down on your finger. So if you put your finger right there, you'll feel your tongue lift. It has to. And you'll produce saliva. Not to get really gross, but it's a reaction of your body. So you're going to do that, and you're going to do E. Let's actually give you a note. That was close. E. 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 As a note, some notes may feel tenser than others, and also some notes may be, you can feel it balling up under your finger. That's a signal. That's a signal just to note and be like, okay, that's a note that I produce some tongue tension on. So in order for me to be more effective, I need to figure out what's going on there, maybe use the pencil for a little bit. You can even just sit with the pencil in your mouth and watch TV. I think I said that earlier, but it's worth saying again. Okay, so that's tongue tension for this week. And please email me at candice.shaughnessy@gmail.com if you have something specific you would like me to put on the Singing Hub. I try to get it out early in the week, every week. It depends on the week. Sometimes it'll be earlier, sometimes it'll be later, but I love ideas. And so please feel free to send me your ideas of what you would like to see on the Singing Hub. Also, if you are not already signed up for the mailing list for specifically the Singing Hub, go to the top of the Singing Hub page and put your email in there so that you can get the latest updates. I do send out an email every time I update the Singing Hub, so that's a great way to stay connected. Or if you have any questions, also feel free to send an email to candice.shaughnessy@gmail.com, and I will see you all next week. Bye-bye.